this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger.
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. This is the podcast where evil power disappears, demons worry when the wizard is near. He turns tears into joy, everyone's happy when the wizard walks by.
I have so many questions.
Yeah. Like,
What is that from?
your biography.
No, I'm not letting this become a thing this week. It's
But-
not going to be... No.
But you're the
No.
wizard.
I'm going to cut that out of the podcast. I'm not the wizard.
But, like, the way you're so stringently denying it, I think proves that you are the wizard.
No.
If you weren't, you just let it slide.
No, but I can't win.
So this is actually a podcast about Power Rangers. My name is Matt. Michael the Wizard is here.
No.
And Sarah is joining us.
Hello, lovelies.
Welcome back, Sarah. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good.
That's good.
I'm excited to do a podcast with a wizard.
Yeah. I'm always excited to do a podcast with a wizard.
I'm out.
It's
I'm not doing this episode.
It's
That's
a
it. I'm just
rare-
going to go home.
It's a rare
Why
privilege.
does it, rub you up the wrong way?
Because it's a dumb nickname that a dumb person gave me, and
Once again, if I was called a wizard, I would take it as a huge compliment.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool nickname.
And I did for the first time when it was funny. And then it was just a joke that someone ran into the ground and was no longer funny ever.
It doesn't need to be funny. You should just wear it as a badge of honor.
No.
Wizards are important.
What, to like modern society?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I be the wizard?
Sure.
It has to be Michael. I'm sorry. Like, I want you to have everything you want in life, but this is his cross to bear. Sorry. So today we're going to be watching episode 122 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Sorry, Michael's death staring me. It is entitled... no, you're flipping me off. When the Wizard Walks By? Is that the
No,
episode
it's
title?
called Wizard for a Day. When the Wizard Walks By. What is When the Wizard Walks
I
That
think
was from your poem.
that might have been from the song lyrics that I was using. Wizard for a Day. Yeah. So this would not be the story of Michael's life because he's always the wizard. From birth till death. Michael, do we have any Power Rangers news to talk about this week? No?
Michael, you're magical.
Anyway, we have some... Okay, there's two things to talk about this week.
Yes.
One is not news, but is the promise of future news.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there's two like that. And then the third thing is something that I really don't want to talk about, but we kind of have to get to it eventually.
Right.
So, let's do the two good things first.
Yes.
This weekend, so the weekend that has passed when you guys are hearing this,
Yep.
is New York Toy Fair.
Ah.
And Bandai have... Is it Bandai? Might be Hasbro. Bandai have promised the legacy reveal for 2016 and beyond, including all new segments to the Power Rangers legacy line.
Segments.
It's an interesting choice of words.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that means not like another Megazord or another Morpher, but something else. But I can't imagine they're doing like helmets at life-size scale.
So for Sarah's benefit,
Yes.
and anyone who doesn't know what the Legacy line is, they are modern redoings of classic Mighty Morphin toys
Oh, okay.
with sort of higher production values.
Yep.
So they've like re-released the original Megazord, but parts of it is metal, and it's sort of like very high detailed.
You might have seen some of them in the front room of my house.
Yeah. I think I played with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also did like Morphers, which you may have also seen at Michael's house.
Yep.
And it looks like they'll be doing some other things, but we don't know what.
No, we'll know by the time we record our next episode, hopefully. So
Maybe figures seems to be the...
there are already figures.
There are Legacy figures.
Yeah, they made some legacy movie figures.
Right.
So I mean, I genuinely have
Play sets?
maybe.
It might be the command center?
Yeah, I mean that's certainly possible.
Yeah.
It seemed like they had settled into a thing with the Megazords.
Yeah. And just start releasing subsequent ones.
Unless maybe it means like less legacy and like skipping to In Space or Dino Charge and like,
Maybe.
you know, on top of the kind of legacy stuff, doing some further ahead stuff.
I'm not super bummed because the next one would have been the Ninja Zord,
Yes.
which I do not care for.
I still believe that the Ninja Zord will come out.
Right.
Because we've seen the Falcon Zord and it
That's
has
true.
like pegs on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Where it would go on the Ninja Zord.
Yeah.
So I'd be shocked if that doesn't come out in the next year or so.
That's a good point.
But like maybe they skip, maybe not Zeo. Who knows? So the second thing, the cast of the Power Rangers movie have landed in Vancouver.
Oh,
They start shooting this week.
ready to start filming. That's
Yeah.
exciting.
It is exciting.
It's sad that they have to be in Vancouver, but...
You pretend that it's Angel Grove.
No, I mean, like, sad for them.
Oh, no, I hear Vancouver's quite nice.
Yeah, I'm sure it is nice.
They film everything there, so it must be okay. It's just, there's no real news there, but it's just kind of exciting.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Is there any, hints about the set or anything?
No, I would not be shocked if we saw a costume reveal in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Because I think they'll want to shoot with those outside, and I think they'll want to get out on top of any kind of leak.
Yeah, I think the big thing that the learning of studios over the past sort of 5 years or so has been, if you're shooting with any sort of costume outside, someone will be able to get a photo of it because of phone cameras. And it's much better that it be an official studio photo
absolutely.
than a shitty, from 100 meters away phone shot of it.
Yeah, so, that could happen quite soon. It's interesting that the cast has landed and they've started shooting and we still don't know kind of a bunch of characters that we're expecting will be there. But also, I don't expect Zordon to be on set or... Alpha 5 or Goldar or any of those characters. I expect they're probably CG and voices.
I'd expect, whoever's playing Goldar will be there at least to sort of stand in for his CGI. If not, sort of be there with a few CGI bits added in post.
Yeah, I guess it could also be, someone else and dubbed. So, I don't know, we'll see. It's interesting that filming started and we still don't know who Zordon will be.
Yeah.
I imagine they will... If they've got Rita, it would be weird for them to not do Zordon.
I guess Zordon's kind of the last person you have to do because he can be all post.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's interesting. I'm hoping that we get some news in the next couple of weeks. It's starting to feel like a real movie that might actually happen.
yes. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to happen at this point.
You think so, but, Mad Max Fury Road took 6 years after they filmed it.
That's true. I don't think they're going to be as careful with it as they were with Mad Max. to
No,
be
that's
honest.
probably true. It probably won't be as good.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was as good. All right, the third thing we have to talk about, we need to talk about J Money.
What is J Money?
Okay, so what you're looking at is an Instagram feed.
Yes.
And look, I'm perfectly happy for one of you to explain what you're looking at.
You're scrolling quite fast, but is that Jason David Frank pretending to be a gangster?
Yes. Yeah, that's what you're looking at.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's deeply unfortunate and yeah, definitely racist. Actually.
Yeah.
Is this real?
Yes.
Oh no.
Well, when you say "is this real," I need to understand what you're actually asking.
It's not really.
It's Jason David Frank.
It's really Jason David Frank.
And he made this choice.
Look, okay, I don't think he really is becoming a rapper.
Right.
If that answers that
He's
kind
being
of question.
sarcastic?
It's hard to tell. This is a man who put line inflections on his scripts, like happy or angry, so he'd remember how to act them.
Right.
So it's hard to tell with sarcasm.
Right.
I think it's definitely a joke.
Yeah.
Where the joke actually is up for interpretation.
It's deeply uncomfortable.
So is this a new development?
It's been happening for a while, and I've been putting off talking about it because
Have you seen any of the videos?
I have not seen any of the videos. Would you like to?
Should we stop recording just for a moment and watch one of the videos?
I feel like we have to do that now that you've mentioned it.
Oh dear, okay, let's do it. Back in a moment, guys.
I've said this before, but that was somehow so much worse than anything I was ever imagining.
Oh dear, that was... Oh boy.
Just that image that I've got it paused on now is just horrifying.
It's so tasteless.
I just want to take a shower forever.
I'm super confused.
There's one comment on this that says, I can't even describe how condescending, demeaning and shameful this is. And that is a person who understands my feelings.
Yes.
I'm just really confused. Like, as to what he was trying to achieve, and why it's infecting the world.
All valid comments.
And comments that I do not have answers for.
Cool. All right, that happened.
Yeah.
Let's be done with that.
All right.
And try and never think about it ever again.
I think that's the right.
Someone found it hilarious.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But their comment was like, laugh, cry, emoticon times 4, then run, comment, $J$.
I assume that's J Money.
Yeah.
And it's not a variable.
Yeah.
Programming joke.
Yeah.
What? No.
Don't worry.
Lost on
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yep, cool. Alright, so let's watch an episode of Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wizard for a day. So, is someone going to become a wizard? Like, get magical powers?
Probably for a day.
Thanks for that, Matt.
I felt that my statement was equally as obvious as your
That's
statement.
fair. But do you, I don't know, they might meet a wizard? Wizard for a day isn't an expression.
No, but for a day has a pretty specific meaning. If you meet a wizard, it's not wizard for a day.
Sure.
He's a wizard all the time.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we're going to... What do you think, Sarah? Any ideas? Who would become a wizard out of the cast?
I want to say Billy,
Right.
because that would be the funniest option,
Yep.
I think. But also, I haven't seen as many of the new cast member episodes as you guys.
I feel like
So,
Billy's the likely option.
Yeah, so I don't know whether some of the new people that I'm not so familiar with might be more...
If Rocky becomes a wizard, I'm walking.
Yeah.
I think I'd really enjoy it with Billy. Let's go for Billy.
Let's hope for Billy.
Or Alpha 5.
Oh boy, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be into that.
He has a cape and a magic wand.
Oh,
It'd have to be purple with yellow stars on his hat.
Yep, done.
Cool.
maybe they mean magician for a day. Maybe they're just trying to be magicians, and it's some awkward stage show, and it has nothing to do with.
Yeah, this is
magic.
no monsters or
That
Power
does,
Rangers.
sound, that does sound a lot more like this show.
Yeah. Well, let's go find out.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a moment, guys. And we're back.
Sarah, you said you had questions.
I have a lot of questions.
Well,
I
do
could
you,
tell because you
My-
said what about 12 times.
Oh, I'm
do you
so
want to
sorry.
cover any
No, no,
that
no.
feel like they weren't episode specific at the start?
My first question is how many episodes was it since I've been on the show? Because
I think it's been about 6.
I feel like it's a different show.
There's been it's been 6 episodes. So there was a big season opener after the last time you were on.
Okay.
And so they got new Zords and new KKK costumes. And
They're terrifying.
they're not great.
They're really creepy. I have quite a few questions.
Okay,
but
did
I
you
suppose
write them
we
down?
Yes, I do. We can just go through the episode, and I can just sort of...
So you know how we were all talking about how cool it would be if Billy was the wizard?
Yep.
Billy was not a wizard, and it was an episode about Rocky, which is the worst case scenario.
that's right, you hate Rocky.
I hate Rocky.
And I got to be honest, you came around on Jason eventually. It's just the show is not doing a lot to improve Rocky.
It's not going to happen.
Because I feel like your dislike of Jason was just he's just a nothing guy on a team of interesting characters.
And more, I think, because I saw more Rocky episodes than Jason episodes.
Yeah.
I think maybe, I just sort of transferred some of that Rocky hate from Rocky onto Jason, because they're both Red Rangers.
Well, that's the thing is, over time, Jason became a character who, got to do stuff, and you could be okay, I don't hate Jason. But every Rocky episode is the worst.
Yes.
There is something awkward about the way he carries himself. Regardless of what happened in the episode, I did notice that, is it just an acting issue? Or, I don't know, there's an awkwardness to his stance.
I got nothing.
He's just the worst.
Yeah.
Right.
So Billy and Tommy are training
Yep.
in the youth centre, and Adam's setting up some boards for them to break.
At first, he starts putting down cinder blocks without
Yeah.
the boards, and for a moment there I was like, "Oh, they're going to punch through cinder blocks," which was a silly thing to think.
Yeah, no. So Rocky comes in.
Yep.
He's carrying too many books.
Yeah. Too many books. Too many books.
No.
They make it clear that you shouldn't punch through wood unless you're ready.
That's true.
Yes.
That's very important.
They made that message clear for the,
Probably
for
still
the little
not
ones
clear
at-
enough.
For the little ones at home.
So Rocky is part of the Teacher for a Day project.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay, so
that sounds irresponsible.
So a student and a teacher
Yeah.
trade places for a day.
Yeah.
Somehow Rocky was chosen in a school with Billy in it.
Yeah.
Somehow they decided that Rocky would get the
In a
most.
school with literally any other person.
So he will be trading places with Mr. Wilton, who is allegedly their science teacher, but we have never seen him before.
No. That's a new development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he's quite strict.
I think the word they used is brutal.
Yeah. Why? What is this experiment? Why does it go for a day? Does that mean like
I think it's supposed to be an exercise in empathy, which I get.
But for one student?
No, but I feel like the one student has the experience and then talks to the other students about
I guess.
it. But also, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. Some of those kids are like in their last year of high school studying important shit.
Yeah. And also, like, what if something goes wrong in that science lab and there's no...
Because science especially.
Of all the things.
It's not like he's teaching English and if he says something dumb about Shakespeare, then the next day the teacher can be like, ignore Rocky, he's an idiot. If he could have killed everyone.
Really?
Could have created some kind of explosive.
Yeah, if you mix
He
like
was
ammonia
playing-
and bleach, creates chlorine gas.
Shit. That sounds bad.
Yeah, and he's bad.
So there's, like, the ingredients you'd need to kill everyone in the room in every science classroom.
Probably, yeah. I mean, we had, what is it? You know the thing that you put it into water and it like catches on fire?
Bombs.
No.
What?
No. No, yeah, bombs. It's an element, and I'm blanking on which element it is. But like our high school, I don't know about yours, had like a full science lab with like, you know, chemicals and stuff.
There was an awful accident that occurred at my high school a
Really?
couple of years before I started. And the girl lived in the house behind me,
Right.
and she was burned. Like she didn't die, but most of her body was burned.
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I was at my high school like 2 years before I arrived.
I mean, yeah.
So
that's
I mean,
horrible.
it happens. You know, they're and I don't know whether they're like what they were like when we were at high school. Like I think they have changed quite a bit, but there used to be a full lab, but I don't know whether they've cracked down now.
Wow.
But half the building was burned down, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
that
don't
was
let-
really somber.
So what we're learning is that every part of this experiment is just dumb.
Especially when you let Rocky do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're like, oh, don't try and, like, hit a piece of wood, kids, at home. But, like, let's play around with some chemicals. Yeah.
So Mr. Wilton comes in, and he is quite...
Similar to a Nazi?
I mean, that's certainly kind. He's very strict from what we
Something
get.
about his eyes.
He's very,
His
like,
eyes were-
tall and Aryan.
He's
and
intense, I think, is the word I would go for. Like,
Likes to scream, but his eyes, something... Ugh.
so you know, and he's very like stilted, especially now.
Yeah.
He's talking about how this will be, you know, an interesting experiment to see if I can be a modern day teenager. He says discipline is the most important thing for a teacher, and then just smacks the board in half. That's the sort of effective writing that this show would not have done a season ago.
Yes.
Like, it just instantly, right, we get it. This guy is terrifying.
Yep.
It's just, this show got okay.
This is certainly the most disappointing episode of proper season 3 so far.
Yes.
For me, though.
That sucks.
But it's mostly
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Rocky's
That's the
fault.
one I got.
It is mostly Rocky's fault. You should blame Rocky, as I do, in all things.
So he said, so the kids are going to have to treat him exactly how they treat Rocky.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that Rocky's a Power Ranger.
God, I wish that they just took that to heart and gave him Rocky's Morpher.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the teacher just became the Red Ranger.
Teleport
for
him
the
into the
season.
command center. He's looking around while Zordon's talking to them. Zordon's pretending like, oh, hi, Mr. Wilton, the Red Ranger. How are you?
Yeah.
Might have done a better job.
But, like, I can't imagine he would do a worse job.
There's a bit where like everybody is like drill sergeant-y, like yes sir, perfectly clear sir, and then Tommy just at the end of it says, I like your tie.
That's a pretty good comedy beat.
Yeah.
He seemed to be like crushing on his teacher a little. Like,
a little bit.
Yeah, it was really cute.
On the moon,
Yes.
Rito has been watching.
Yes.
This is easily the best part of this episode.
Yes.
He pitches to Rita and Lord Zed. They're doing a swap. Why don't we do a swap? I'll be in charge. You can just be the wacky comedy sidekick. And Rita's like, you're an idiot. And Lord Zed says, yeah, all right. I mean, if another day that we don't kill the Power Rangers, I mean, we've got a calendar full of them. So, worst thing that happens is you kill the Power Rangers.
And plus he says, I want to take a day off, so works out well.
This is my first question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because this is the first time I've seen this skeleton.
Rito
thing.
is Rita's brother.
Rita's brother, right. Okay. I
Yep.
didn't pick that up from the episode. I just thought, oh, look, another...
He arrived in the 6 episodes you've missed.
Right, okay.
He brought the bird creatures, who I'm sure you'll have questions about later.
Another question? Yeah. So, I mean, his costume is like, I don't know if it's good or bad.
Horrific.
It's like... It's got so many elements to it. I'm like, guys, streamline.
Most of which are
streamline.
skulls.
Most of them are skulls, but then there's this army pattern thing.
On half of his body.
On half
Yep.
of it. And there's lots of faces. Like, many different faces.
And
Which
then,
part is talking?
On top of that, he's like a bumbling comedy character.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But sometimes he has like a backpack flamethrower.
Yeah. Sometimes he destroyed the Megazord.
And the softness of his bones as he moves into other objects, like they cushion and they kind of look so like they're kind of creepy. But the softness of the whatever fiber it is that they use, it just confuses everything. I don't know. It's like he's a lot like a soft ice cream. I just yeah.
So we come back to the moon a couple of times this episode, and every time Rita and Zed seem to be having the time of their lives.
Yes.
It's really nice.
They were very coupley in this episode.
They're getting progressively more coupley, I think, as time rolls on.
As soon as they stopped making Lord Zed scary, like, after this episode, you couldn't think he's scary.
No.
Because he's like...
He's such a chill dude now.
Yeah.
In a way that he was never before.
No.
They were very like mum and dad, letting the kids have fun, and sniggering, but like teaching them a lesson.
I think that married life has really like worked out well for Lord Zed.
Yeah, it's really relaxed him a lot.
Even though he was sort of drugged into it.
Like, it's been ages since he glowed red with anger.
I think he's letting himself go though. He's too comfortable.
Yeah?
That's a problem about marriage.
Okay.
Whoa!
Alright, that's
to our married listeners, I'd just like to say that
that's
I support marriage, Sarah does not.
That's a conversation that some of you guys are going to have on your own.
No, I'm kidding.
This isn't going to become Mighty Morphin marriage counselling data.
No, I'm fine with marriage. As long as it's not like Power Rangers themed, it's fine.
So to any of our listeners who had a Power Rangers themed wedding, I support you, Sarah does not.
Oh, I'm sorry, that didn't even occur to me.
I'm on the fence.
Do you think that's actually happened?
We've seen pictures of Power Rangers themed weddings, but we have not heard from a listener who has had a Power Rangers themed wedding.
That's amazing.
If you send us emails and you've had a Power Rangers themed wedding, we won't show Sarah, so don't worry.
Yeah,
I
she
feel
won't
bad
judge
now.
you.
I feel bad. No, I won't judge you.
So Bulk and Skull are outside writing tickets. They're junior police officers now.
Okay, yeah, so that's new.
Yep.
So
You missed
they're
a big
still
couple
in
of
high
episodes.
school. They're
Well,
still students.
I've got questions about that, but we'll get to... Yes.
So when the others are in class, they're actually policing.
Well...
They go to class sometimes.
Okay.
I think it's like, for credit, they're doing this junior police officer program.
Oh, I see.
So it replaces some of their classes.
That
but
would
not
make
all of them.
sense, yeah. Which would be like a good thing to do because they're not doing anything in actual high school.
No, school isn't really working out for them.
Yeah.
Sure.
So far from what we've seen, I think this is a good direction to have taken the Bulk and Skull characters.
It certainly gives them new and different things to do.
Yes.
Which is working out well for them.
And they've basically completely stripped out any of the bulliness of them.
Mostly. They'll still call the Power Rangers dweebs and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like... Yeah, no, it's good. So, they see Rocky in a suit.
Yes.
Which Skull obviously realises that means that there is a new teacher in school who looks just like Rocky.
Yes. He's kind of a charming idiot, though.
He is. But they see, he's in a suit and he's got teacher's books. So, what if he's cheating?
I don't know why he'd need a suit for that, but that's fine.
So, they go to his locker.
Yep.
This might be my favourite sight gag in Power Rangers history, second only to the Dino Charge one with Ivan's crew of people running away.
Yeah, don't forget Sledge in the Santa hat.
That's, oh yeah, okay. Third best.
Yeah.
They're dressed as bins.
Yes.
So they've got, their hats are bin lids.
Yes.
And so when they squat down, the bins cover their bodies.
Yeah.
And when they stand up, you can just see their legs at the bottom of the bins.
It's an amazing costume.
It's so good.
It seems like this is the sort of humour they've always wanted to hit.
Yes.
And never gotten there. Because it's genuinely hilarious.
It is.
And there's a bit where, like a bit later, because they're trying to get the books out of Rocky's locker.
Yep.
Because they're evidence. Rocky comes up to check his locker later, and they hide in the bins, and it works.
There's
For
just
some reason,
two
that makes it
bins there.
so much better.
I think especially for me because those guys don't have to be in those bins in that other shot. Like it's just a shot of two bins.
Yeah.
But it's funny because of previously set up work.
Yes.
It's just
It's
a good bit.
Genuinely funny, and I laughed a lot.
Yeah, you laughed. I laughed too. I think that was one of the first laughs I've had that wasn't at the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was with the show.
It was with the show.
Yeah.
So that was really refreshing.
We keep saying it, but season 3, like, it's not the pinnacle of television,
No.
but they've really turned it around.
Yeah, this is the worst episode of the season so far for me, and it was still not
Other
bad.
than, like, the A plot,
Yeah.
the B and C stuff, top notch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if the A plot had been about anyone other than Rocky, would have really helped.
Yeah.
So, Rocky's teaching, and he mixes something called carbon sulfur dioxide, which I don't know if that's a real thing or not. It's definitely real words.
Yeah.
And something which he calls yellow liquid.
Which is a real thing, I can verify that one.
And it just makes smoke everywhere. So,
And
Yeah.
it becomes a laughing stock.
And we don't, because it cuts away, we don't know whether he's murdered his class or not.
the thing about this is, even if you decided to do this program where you swapped it, and I could see, like, a school giving it a try for, like, the kids will love it because the teacher has to pretend to be a kid and all of that.
Yeah.
You've got to give them more than a day to prepare.
Yes. It's hard, especially when they're dealing with chemicals.
Yeah.
Or, here's another thought, have a teacher sit in and watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or the
that was a
teacher-
weird choice to not do that.
There
The
was
teacher
no, like, super
writes
fun.
the lessons,
Yeah.
and then he just has to,
Present them.
Anyway, the next scene, I loved this.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Wilton, who I think they call Wilbert.
Yes.
So, if his name is Wilbert Wilton, no wonder he's so cross all the time.
Yeah.
So, he's dressed as Rocky in a red shirt and jeans. Which is just A+ work, guys. And he just keeps answering questions. Because he knows everything that high school English could possibly teach him.
Oh, he's
Because
such
that's
a
what
douche.
all science teachers are like.
And then, I think it's Tommy
If
behind
you're a
him.
science teacher, I just want to say that I support you even if Sarah doesn't.
I had
I love science teachers. Stop
I had
making me out
I
like
had
a bad
a
guy.
bunch of really rad
Stop it.
science teachers in high school.
Rad science teachers.
Yeah.
I had a
Me
really
too.
good one.
I had an amazing science teacher called Mr. Lawler, and he was the softest, kindest man ever. He was just so kind. I mean, like, I don't think I learned any. No, that's true. I might have learned some things, but he was just, I remember his kindness.
I'm
So-
just all of my science teachers except maybe Mr. Lomax were great.
What did Mr. Lomax do?
We just didn't get along.
No,
Right.
Mr. Lomax.
What sort of teachers would you not get along with? What did he do? Was he too cool?
I mean, if I can be perfectly
Did he
honest,
ride into school on a motorcycle?
if I can be, I don't know about that.
Alright.
This was a long time ago, but it might have been that he was too cool. That
Right.
may actually have been it.
I called it. I totally called it.
I feel really bad. I just remembered Mr. Lawler. You know how, like, you make sherbet in science class sometimes?
No.
To
No.
learn about different... Oh, we made
To learn
sherbet.
about
so,
what?
like...
What?
bicarb-
Sugar?
To learn about sherbet.
Like, I don't know.
That's an important chemical on the periodic
To learn
table.
about
Hydrogen,
bicarb.
helium, lithium, sherbet. That's how it goes.
Wow, we had a great Mr. Lawler. I think this is the thing. He was lovely. He was so soft and kind. And so he gave us a sherbet class. And the boys ground up chalk. And was all like, hey, Mr. Lawler, try my sherbet to see if it's right. And he ate the chalk. And he was like, that's really nice, boys. Well done. You might need a bit of extra sugar. And he walked away. And
I mean, that's a power play on his behalf, right?
Yeah.
Because you must know.
He knows.
He knows.
And he's just playing it straight.
No, like, kids, don't feed me. No, angry.
Yeah.
Just, no, definitely needs more sugar. That's a good move.
That's like a deep cut.
Yeah.
It's like him acknowledging that it's chalk, but playing it off as if they failed at making sherbet because they used chalk.
Yeah, exactly. It
like
gives
this
them
guy.
no satisfaction at all.
Yeah.
I hope he's happy.
I hope he's happy you didn't die of chalk.
Yeah, that would be awful.
I'm just imagining the gravestone. R.I.P. Mr. Lawler. Cause of death? Chalk.
Lived by the chalk, died by the chalk.
But that was just my high school. They'd feed the teachers whatever they were sort of trying to... Like clay. They used to put clay in the art teacher's coffee.
That's messed up.
It was a pretty intense high school.
Did you have a good science teacher?
Yeah, I had a really good astronomy teacher in Canberra.
Okay.
In Canberra, we had cool classes instead of your New South Wales shitty classes.
Is this one of those things that they do to make Canberra seem cool for kids?
Yes.
They're like, hey kids, you could look, in regular New South Wales, you have to study science.
Yeah.
Here you can study space.
I did astronomy, I did forensic science, I did movie making, and I did journalism.
Okay, I mean, here's the thing. 15-year-old Michael,
Yeah.
that's the 4 things he loves most in the world.
Yeah.
Even 24-year-old Michael, they're all pretty close to the top of the list.
It was pretty rad. So my astronomy teacher came second place for like a national teaching award last year.
Right.
Because he's really good astronomy teacher. And my forensic science teacher was also super rad.
Right.
So
Was that Grissom?
that was Mr. Gilbert Grissom. That's,
Okay,
yeah, that's right.
great.
Oh yeah, so because it was Canberra, it was cool. We called everyone by their first names because we're cool. Like that in
We
Canberra.
had like terrible fires in our science building and chalk incidents.
I feel like we have to
There's
do
nothing-
a separate podcast about Matt's high school in Canberra because I have so many questions that we really can't ask right now.
Why not?
Like, everyone by their first names?
Yeah.
Including, like, the principal?
Yeah.
Did you have a real science class as well? Not to say that, like, astronomy isn't real science.
Yeah,
But,
so
like...
it's year 7 and 8,
Yeah.
you do general science.
Yep, sure.
And then you specialise when you get into so 9 and 10, so you can pick your branch of science.
And then what do you do in 11 and 12? Do you just do the HSC? Like...
Well, in 11 and 12, you get to college, which some schools in New South Wales do actually have, the outside
Right.
of colleges. But I was not there for that because I sadly had to go to New South Wales and meet all you people.
Right, okay. So then you did, like, regular science, like... Did you do a science in high school? Like, in year 3 HSC?
No, I didn't.
Did you, Sarah?
For 2 weeks. And then I changed my class because I was doing biology for a couple
Right.
weeks and I was like, I'm out. I didn't give it a fair go, to be honest, but yeah, I changed
Fair
to
enough.
something. I think I changed to family and community studies.
What is
Yeah,
that?
I got the same. What's...
Family and community studies. You know what? I don't even know. It was like, I don't know. Yeah, it was sort of about demographics and like family structures and like it was not about it wasn't childhood studies. It was sort of like family studies. So a little bit more. I have no idea. And my teacher
Doesn't
didn't
sound
know either.
real.
My teacher,
No, it sounds less real than astrology.
my teacher didn't know either, and I bought a textbook and just sort of like did my exam by like memorizing this textbook that I bought out of school, and that's how I got through it. But it was like one of those subjects where you like, I did do like a project where I had to like I did some surveys about body image and magazines and things like that. Jesus, what was this? I don't even know what it was about now.
Wow.
It was such a waste
It was
of
a
time.
long time ago for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but I think as well, like, it wasn't a Canberra high school. It was like, let's just get these kids to do something until they're old enough to join the workforce. That's really cynical. No, I mean, like, I had some really nice times at high school, but
Not
yeah.
related to your education.
Not really. And and I really learned that once I reached uni that my education was not wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have more questions about Canberra High School?
Let's just move on.
Okay.
I had questions about this high school.
Yeah, so Wilbert starts talking in class because someone's talking behind him and then someone's leaning back and he yells at them. The teacher is so angry at him and she sends him to the principal's office.
It's pretty hilarious how hard she shuts him down.
Yeah.
It's almost mean.
You kind of get the feel... this is also, by the way, a completely new teacher for this show.
Yes.
I also, you kind of get the feeling that, like, maybe those two don't like each other.
Yeah, and she's living it up.
Yeah, alright, Wilbert's going to be in my class. Alright, let's do this shit.
Yeah. It's like, Wilbert, nail that nail through your foot. You have to do it because I'm the teacher now.
This is Crucifixion 101.
Yeah.
Wilbert's going to be playing the role of the guy getting crucified. So we're going to have fun with that one. So on the moon,
Yes.
Zed and Rito are just fucking around.
Yep.
And they say, well, what's your plan, Rito? And he's like, I don't really have one. Oh, I know. I'll destroy the Power Rangers with a monster. And they say, oh man, I wish we'd thought of that. What a great plan.
And they're just giggling and sniggering to themselves, like,
Even their body language, they're just like sitting on the steps next to the throne.
Yep.
And just having a great time.
Yeah. The problem is, Rito doesn't know how to make a monster.
Yes, that is a problem.
So he calls in Finster and says, look, Finster, make me a monster that will defeat the Power Rangers. Which, first of all, not a specific brief, because that's the brief for all the monsters.
Yes.
Finster, not going to do it.
No. Hard no.
He only makes them for Rita and Zed.
And he doesn't even do that these days, which makes me wonder what he's doing with his time.
He's done it occasionally.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not a
I
lot.
think he's into sculpture. You know how he's always got his clay?
Yeah.
I really think that he's an artist.
He probably gets really disappointed when they get turned into monsters, because then they get blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're his, like, artworks. They're so disrespectful to me.
Yeah. How do they put souls into his artwork and then
This-
make them explode?
This is another question that really became apparent, and we can talk about this later, but the soul thing is disturbing.
Yes.
Yep.
Is the answer to that question.
Yeah. So Mr. Wilton is just in the park, and he's a bit bummed because he got sent to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him in the principal's office? Like, does the principal have to keep up the act as well?
Yeah, like when there's no kids around, at what point do you be like, okay, that's probably why he was at the park. Because he probably actually went to the principal's office, and the principal was like, dude, what are you doing?
Jim, you've got an hour off. Like, just, mate, go have lunch in the park.
Yeah.
Just relax. So Rocky and Mr. Wilton bond a little?
A little.
Vaguely.
Because they're both terrible at being each other, I guess.
They both just seem like sad people in that moment sharing a park bench. So.
I feel like they're both just sad people.
So then the Tengas attack.
Yes.
They don't attack Rocky.
No.
They attack Mr. Wilton.
Because Mr. Wilton is in Rocky's clothes. And they're dumb birds.
The only person that ever wore a red shirt.
It's amazing. It's great.
So the birds. Explain the...
well,
the
how about
birds.
first you tell us about the Tengas?
Yeah,
and your
what do you
experience?
know about the Tengas?
Well, they are bird-like.
Yep.
Yes.
And they seem to attack things when told. I
That's
mean,
basically it.
That's it.
Like,
That's more or less it.
okay,
They,
great.
Tengas.
they
You know
came from
Tengas.
eggs on the moon.
Eggs on the moon, of course.
Yeah, they're like putties, but their plate is a bit stronger.
Yeah.
But I imagine that it will wear off quite quickly.
They're like the natural Season 3 escalation of we need a foot soldier monster.
Right.
But they can fly.
They're creepy. Like, I think making them sort of black and crow-like is a bit more effective than the grey, rubbery sort of...
Yeah,
funny-
as I said before, birds are terrible. And when you make monsters out of them, they're terrifying.
To any of our listeners who love birds and have birds as pets, please ignore Matt.
Birds
Yay,
are
I got
kind
to
of...
do it! I got to put you down and because
Birds
of
are
it.
kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, even pet birds, there's still... I think it's that little bit of dinosaur that still comes through.
Yes.
Like, they have beaks. What's up with that? And they got claws. It's
There's
messed
some
up.
real sweet birds out there. Like, I know...
Where?
I haven't met one, but I'm
Yeah,
sure...
that's right.
No. Actually, my friend has a bird that's very affectionate, and he's very cute.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, you can meet him.
So Rocky kind of calls everyone on the communicators and said, Tenga's attacking a teacher.
Oh,
Come
I
help.
should just say for Sarah's benefit, Tengas do talk on occasion.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a weird distinction from putties, because when you kill them, you're
They were
killing
human
something
beings,
that
yeah.
had thoughts.
Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable with all the death and the killing of this show. Like,
Yeah.
just stop killing each other. Be friends.
Give peace a chance, Power
Throw
Rangers.
a party on the moon.
So as Rocky is running and he morphs, he calls the Tengas something
Yes.
that I am hoping was feathered fat heads.
Yes.
Yeah, but we all thought it.
We did all think it.
It sounds... I mean, I'd have to rewatch it with the subtitles to be sure. And I'm sure he's not saying what we all heard. Because even in 1996, no way you could get away with that.
But maybe he meant feathered bunch of sticks. Maybe.
I mean, it just sounds enough like it that I think we all did a double take.
Yeah, we did.
This is the first time we've seen Kim in this episode.
Yeah.
And she shot, like, on her own, separate to everyone else.
It's very obvious that she was not there that day.
Yeah. Which is, like, fine.
But it also seems to be happening increasingly often. Because the last 2 episodes, she was, like, sick in bed or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, they're all aware that she's, like, done with the show.
Yeah.
And she's really just putting... I mean, we got some set up a couple of episodes where... At the end of the school year, she will be moving to France with her mother and a French painter.
Okay, I see. So she's almost out.
So everyone at the show is aware that she will be leaving the show soon.
Yeah, that one short scene with her was a bit strange.
And I wonder if that's part of the negotiation is like stick around to the end of the season, we do a transition, but like.
Spoiler warning, it's not going to be the end of the season.
No. But, in exchange, you don't have to work every day of the week and we'll figure some stuff out.
You'll get a stunt person in your pink ninja costume and Power Rangers costume most of the time.
And was that a messy situation?
No, I think that was one of the relatively few amicable...
Yeah, it was basically just it had been 2 years on the show and it was time for her to move on.
Right. Yeah. She was ready. So this was the first time that I've seen these ninja costumes.
Yeah, let's talk about them. They're terrible, right?
Well, I mean, they're creepy. There's something really like I understand that they're going for ninjas.
Yes.
But the masks around the face, they're not fitted enough to sort of
look like people.
Yeah.
I capital H hate them. I can't stand them.
I'm less strongly emotioned than Michael, but
I'm also I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm slightly uncomfortable with them being ninjas. Like, racially.
Oh, it's okay. They got their powers from a ninja robot called Ninja.
Right.
He was in a cave.
Right.
See, I don't mind it racially, in that they do pull their powers from different cultures at different points in time in the future. So I guess I have the benefit of seeing it as like a greater sort of...
Right. I mean, in my head, it's just they have ninja footage because it's a show from Japan and they're limited in what they can do with that, you know?
Sure, okay.
It's just one of the realities of how the show works.
But I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's probably not an area that I can confidently speak in, but just appropriating other people's cultures when you don't have any characters that sort of honour their traditions.
Oh, Adam had a good episode last week or the week before, where he had a lantern and
from his Oriental family
that was surprisingly racially sensitive.
Okay, well that's really nice to hear.
It was really interesting,
especially after an episode with like a huge French stereotype monster who was like, oh, baguette croissant.
That's right. Did I see that one? I think I might.
You might have been in the room for that one,
in the last episode, they knew a guy who was an expert in lanterns and lived in a Japanese garden, but Billy was the one who knew him from his childhood instead of Adam, who was the Asian American member of the cast.
Oh, that is really nice.
Yeah, and the guy who knew about the lanterns spoke perfect
wasn't
English.
a stereotype in any way. It was just like a dude. Yeah,
He was surprisingly well handled.
Yeah.
That is well handled.
Yeah.
I mean, it is hard to even talk about these things, but it's nice when they just sort of show some sensitivity, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they fight the Tengers.
Yes.
And then Rito comes down.
Yes.
And he zaps Mr. Wilton with Lord Zed's staff.
Yeah.
And he turns him into Marvo the Meanie.
Which is
my goodness.
such a terrible name that comes out of nowhere.
No.
Yeah.
He almost didn't need a name.
No.
He has a
He's
name.
an evil monster, Mr. Wilton.
Yeah.
I mean, he was based on a teacher. Surely there are some other, obvious things that you could make, like a caricatured style teacher.
Also, he's not a wizard, really?
Yeah, and you would know.
Alright, you guys can finish this podcast on your own. I'm going home.
I needed one. I just needed one.
That's fine. He's like a genie is more what I would describe that look as.
He's a genie who identifies himself as a magician. There's very little wizard in it.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a magician, didn't I?
And he doesn't call himself Marvo the Magician, which would be a totally acceptable magician name.
Yeah. He also seems to lack the ability to walk forwards in a straight line. He sort of dodders from side to side as he moves. It's really strange.
Thinking about it too, he also lacks the ability to do magic. Like,
I mean, he does have finger lasers.
yeah, but that's not, like, for Power Rangers.
No, it's not more magical than a standard monster's powers. No.
Nothing he does really has any, like, aesthetic magic quality.
Realistically, though, every part of that would be fine were this episode not called Wizard for a
Yeah,
Day.
it's almost the wizard that just
It's the
lets it
wizard,
down.
like, if it was just Teacher for a Day,
Yep.
like, everything about Marvo the Meanie would be a little odd,
Yes.
but not unexpected.
Yes.
The fact that we were going, it's going to be a magician-wizard episode, and then he just becomes this thing.
That does science powers.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Is it the song playing in that scene, like a new song that I haven't heard before?
There is some new music.
Yeah, because I noticed that particularly in that scene that was a track that I hadn't heard.
There was the Tenga music, the Tenga song.
I like that Tenga
Is that the one you mean?
Oh, I
What's
just
the
noticed.
Tengas?
Is it in a minor key? That's what I noticed.
I do not
Just-
know.
I love that Tenga song. It's a good song.
I don't like it. It's catchy as hell.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Okay, anyway. I can just do a podcast about that song. So they can't destroy Marvo the Meanie.
Yes.
Because on the inside he's Mr. Wilton.
We even see this horrifying, like...
So it's
Oh my
it's
God.
his face superimposed slightly transparently over Marvo the Meanie's like torso.
Yeah.
Just going, "Help me, Power Rangers, help me."
horrifying.
What?
So his consciousness is sort of in there, separate but trapped. And so they're all like, I think we know how to slow him down. So they jump to the side and ask him very general questions about, like, don't hurt us, we know who you are. Like, that's not knowing how to slow him down.
And
No,
then
they lied at that
they
point.
try to grab him, and that doesn't really work. And then he shoots lasers from his fingers that hit Billy and Aisha.
Yes.
And, oh boy, I love this. It makes no sense, but he turns them into test tubes full of blue and yellow liquid.
It gets really trippy at this stage.
It's
like,
weird.
It's
So
really
good. Sure.
trippy.
So good. Oh,
And
man.
they're like, quick, cover up your faces. Then, like, you might...
There
it
might be
toxic.
noxious gases.
But aren't they wearing masks?
Yes.
Yeah, look.
So they did morph into their proper suits. So
Yes.
they don't always wear those.
It's
No.
like a transition phase
Okay.
Yeah.
where they have sometimes extra ninja powers. Like that thing where Rockies are like teleported up a tree.
I saw that, so that they can fly.
Not fly. It's like, you know how ninjas rely on sleight of hand and sort of... It's like that, but if those were actual powers. So they can do things like, a Tenga might try and grab them, and then they'll grab, like, the ninja's clothes, but then the ninja will be there, like, they sort of disappear in their own clothes.
Right.
So that's like misdirection, but sometimes it's just teleporting.
Except we've only ever seen like one of those powers more than once, and only 3 of them might have those powers, or they don't use those powers a lot for something that was pretty heavily set up in their first fight with those powers.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Do you remember when the what's his name, the magician?
Marvo the Meanie.
Yeah, it was all like, I don't know, they were getting upset because it was, like their teacher, and then it goes, ooh, so emotional.
It's a weird beat.
It's such a weird line.
Oh, I missed a bit before Billy gets turned into a test tube, where he tells Mr. Wilton, listen to reason before something terrible happens. And Marvo the Meanie says, you mean like this? And just punches him in the face.
It's pretty good.
So good. So he uses his finger lasers again, and Rocky's not paying attention because he's so upset. And Tommy manages to push him out of the way, but everyone else gets turned into a liquid of test tube of liquid.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It really is. So everyone except Rocky is now like a beaker. Great. Great.
That's
Insane.
The worst possible situation the team could be in.
Yeah.
And so to convey his anger, he hits his fist on the floor, like in a why tantrum kind of thing.
So Rito picks them all up and just puts them into a convenient test tube holder.
Yeah.
Because he clearly knew what was going to happen before he came down. And then...
I'm trying to think of like reasons why he would have that outside of his plan.
No.
But there's nothing.
No. So Rocky kind of runs over, grapples with Rito, and manages to grab them and teleport away.
Yeah.
So
His parting line is, "I'd love to stay, but I just remembered a previous engagement." Snappy.
yeah, it's bold. It's good.
It's too long for
Yeah.
a good quip, you know?
Yeah.
He can't even quip right.
No. So Alpha's doing some science with those test tubes, but he's not having any luck. And so they're saying, well, we figured out that if you destroy Marvo the Meanie, Mr. Wilton will just come back.
Yep.
But if you do that before we fix the Power Rangers, they won't change back.
That's dramatic.
Now,
High stakes.
I thought, great, he has to go, figure out how to fix the problem.
Or stall.
That's a good setup for a third act.
Yes.
What really happens is he tells Alpha to cross his fingers. They magically just change them back, and then they all go fight him.
Well, Rocky does say to Alpha, just settle down and concentrate and we'll figure it out. And then Rocky uses his science knowledge, I guess.
It's not really...
Yeah, I thought maybe I had blinked or something.
Yeah,
The next thing I know, it had happened and I thought I wasn't paying
Yeah,
attention.
I'm entirely with you.
There's
So
a two-shot montage of them doing science and figuring the problem out. I think it was supposed to be although Rocky thought he'd done a terrible job of being a science teacher, he actually learned a thing or two.
Because he does say being a teacher for a day really paid off.
Yes.
Right.
But it's just...
it is terribly executed. And also, learning some rudimentary high school science would not help you,
no, this is magic.
Yeah. Turn a Power Ranger from a liquid into a Power Ranger.
But
it's not in the syllabus.
Even, if Billy had done it, he'd have just delivered a line of technobabble.
Yes.
That would have been fine.
Yes.
Alpha's I don't know what to do. And Rocky says, oh, have you tried reversing the polarity of the neutron flow?
Yep.
And Alpha's oh yeah, that'll work. There, job done. You don't need a literally blink and you'll miss it montage that just...
Poorly executed.
Fucking Rocky, man.
Do you think it really is his fault? Do you think he's a poor actor, or do you think his character's written badly? What is with...
I think at the moment, he's the weakest actor of the cast.
Right.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily because he's, the worst actor in the world, although I don't think he'd ever win an Oscar. But I think, Amy Jo Johnson and David Yost are legitimately good.
Yeah.
Jason David Frank is at least used to it and, knows how to act for Power Rangers. And the other two are
at least
pretty good actors.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas he's just, he's not great.
He's bad, and I think he overcompensates for that with a sort of over-eagerness and almost egotism that is really off-putting. And on top of that, his character is always portrayed as someone who's ungrateful for various things.
Yeah. The writing does not do him any favours.
No.
But
So
it's not
just a
entirely...
lot of little things, I think. Plus his face.
He came off bewildered most of the time. I just didn't see much going on in his face. He looked slightly confused, almost anxious.
But there's also this, frustration at the world that he's been dealt this hand. He gets really things are really getting me down and I'm really angry at the world, but not in a I'm pensive and introspective, just kind of petulant.
The problem is he never really gets a third act change.
Yes.
Where he can be okay, no, I became a teacher, I used my science knowledge, I'm on top of it now.
That was supposed to happen in this.
But
he didn't sell it and the script didn't sell it,
No.
so it was a total wash.
yeah. So they go to fight Marvo the Meanie.
Yep.
Rito's all right, I'm just going to make him grow now. That seems to be about the time that this happens. We've got about 7 minutes left in the episode. I guess we'll make yep, sure. He makes Marvo grow. They summon the Ninja Zords.
Yep.
The Ninja Zords get one punch in.
Yes.
And then...
They do their finishing move at the start, but it doesn't destroy the monster.
No, and then Rocky's I feel responsible for this, so I'm just going to take my presumably weaker robot and do this myself?
Yes, and everyone's good idea, despite the fact that that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. And then, Rocky just destroys Marvo the Meanie.
Yes.
And does a little dance.
And doesn't die.
And
Is that like a kind of like a victory pose he did at the end?
I think that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So tell us about your experience with the Ninja Zords, Sarah.
Oh well, a lot was going on, and
Yeah.
so there was. What really stuck in my mind was that there's a cityscape going on behind
Yep.
their construction,
Yep.
and I was sort of a little bit preoccupied with what city is that? Like I don't understand. It's Angel Grove isn't really a city; it's a small town.
Well,
I suppose it is though. It has been mentioned as a city before,
it,
but
it does have skyscrapers that are involved in the monster fights from time
yeah,
to
that's so
time.
true. Yeah. Sometimes you see like television broadcasts of parades through the city and things
Yeah.
like that. But
Television
anyway,
broadcasts of Tokyo.
basically
Yes.
yes. But yeah, so I sort of was interested in the background, but I thought it was kind of cool. Like I thought it was a vast improvement to the last sort of experiences I've had with the construction. But
Huh, it's interesting.
you didn't like them.
Matt really doesn't like
Oh,
them.
okay. I mean, like I'm not as invested
Yeah.
to
I
start
think-
with. I'm pretty like I have a mild
What about
appreciation.
Visually.
Visually. Well, I mean, like, I take this whole show with a bit of a grain of salt. You know, like, I think that there's a bit of, like, wiggle room when it comes to
Sure.
the visuals. I thought it was kind of cool. I think it was alright. I wasn't like, yeah, this is cool, but, you know.
Michael, can you bring up in an Internet Explorer tab or Chrome or whatever you use?
I can use a real web browser instead. Yeah.
That's a good idea. The Thunder Megazord in one and the Ninja Megazord in another.
Yep.
And I'm curious at sort of, just to get Sarah's like visual interpretation,
Sure. So this is the Thunder Megazord,
Sure.
which you should recognise from last season.
Yep.
and this is the Ninja Megazord.
Yep. I remember that from this time.
Yep.
Right.
Sometimes it
Sarah-
has the wings on its back.
While Sarah kind of looks at that,
Yep.
my feeling with this, it's a Megazord that is one revision away from being really cool.
Yes.
And it doesn't quite nail. You know what the other thing is? It needs the wings.
Yes.
Without the wings, it looks anemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the wings really bulk it up a bit more.
I just think it looks like a less, just technologically to me, looks like a few generations ago compared to the Thunder Megazord.
I mean, it's a little bit more streamlined. And I guess, because that is sort of...
God,
it's
that
got
Legacy
more,
Thunder Megazord
it
is
looks
nice.
very cool. It's very nice. But also the other one is a bit more less bells and whistles, a bit more streamlined.
Well, more working man.
Well, maybe just a little bit more
I can definitely see
basic.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see what you mean.
And I guess if you think about how mobile phones improve, you know what I mean? You see that it gets sleeker and less complicated, and maybe that's sort of what they were going for. I don't know, but I can see why you would not like it as much.
Anything looks better than the movie version.
Oh my gosh! what
Yeah,
is
that's terrible.
that?
Do you not remember that from the movie that you watched?
Sarah wasn't there for the movie.
Oh, she wasn't?
No.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, in the movie, they replaced the Ninja Megazord with an American CGI version, and it was terrible.
That was. It feels like it cost about 32 cents.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That's what it was.
I mean, I don't have the same appreciation of the critical eye that you do. And sometimes as well, that's a good thing because your imagination just can fill it in. And you're like,
That's
yeah,
true.
that's a
Yeah.
badass robot. It's going to do a badass thing now. Yeah.
I'm curious what you'll think of the next one, but that's fine.
I know nothing about the Zeo Megazord. Oh, do you mean the Zeo or the later?
before the Zero.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I also know nothing about that other than that it exists.
Yeah. That'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that. period of
Okay.
time.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Rocky Rito on the moon.
Yes.
Kind of is groveling. He wants a second chance. Lord is like, you don't deserve a second chance. Not really fair. He failed to destroy the Power Rangers once. Lord Zed's failed to destroy the Power Rangers at least 5 or 6 dozen times.
Yes.
Yeah, they went back to being mean quite quickly. They were so jovial and friendly and chuckling, and then they were putting him down. And he gave it a fair go at being bad.
Yeah. They're pretty evil,
Yeah.
those guys.
He tried.
So back in the juice bar,
Yes.
Rocky has, I guess, learned a lesson
But,
where he thought teachers were the ones that had all the easy work. But if you want to teach, you'd better be prepared.
what, I get the lesson they were going for. The way he expresses it is like, oh, if you're thinking about studying to become a teacher, don't take that decision lightly. Which doesn't seem like the lesson he needs to learn.
It's like the lesson should be, just remember that your teachers are people as well.
Yes.
And like, don't just give them shit just because they're they're human beings,
Yes.
and just remember that and keep that in mind.
They made the job very unappealing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. Weird moral.
Weird, like, fine moral,
Yeah.
weirdly told.
Yeah, weirdly executed. I agree.
Yeah. And then Mr. Wilton comes in.
Yep.
And,
Still dressed as Rocky.
Still dressed as Rocky. And, he apparently forgot that being a teenager was very difficult, which I don't understand. He's around teenagers all the time. Like, everything I've ever heard from high school teachers is that, like, you've got to be on top of them because it's your job to be the boss and make sure that they do the right thing. But, like, they acknowledge, obviously they're going through some very difficult times in their lives, and it's important to be across all that. I can't imagine how, as a teacher, you could forget that teenagers are humans.
I feel like...
I've definitely met a few teachers that forgot.
Yeah. I feel like unless you're living a very sad life, you have a very apparent acknowledgement that those were a worse time of your life than what you're currently living now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like, if your life really goes on the rails, I think you can look back on that period of time almost wistfully, but you have to be having a really bad time in your life.
How do you guys look back on high school?
Not favourably.
No?
Not as harshly as Matt, but I also would not relive it again for all of the money.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is I would never do that period of my life again, but I don't have, like, strong negative feelings about it either, I don't think.
No.
I was not a fan.
Yeah, no, I have negative feelings about it. Yeah. I think it's a difficult time for everybody, some more than others, and I think, I don't know. I do think that there is definitely, because it is such a different world, and you can very quickly lose touch with what it's like to be, living with those sorts of hormones and problems and, issues. And so, I don't know. I think that there's such a big gap there that it's quite common for teachers to lose empathy with their students. That was my experience anyway. And I realised that I wasn't exactly at a very nice high school. There were definitely some nice teachers there, but...
Are either of you still in contact with, like, teachers from high school? No. Not like, regular, like, drinking buddies, but have you heard from any of them? I'm friends with one or two on Facebook.
That's nice.
Really?
That's really nice. No. There was an art teacher who really helped me out that I
I had a
contact
great
with.
art teacher too.
Yeah, but
Shout out Miss Coombs. Or I'm not sure if that's still your name, I'm sorry. She changed names while we were at high school and maybe once since, I just don't remember.
That's nice. Yeah, no. High school's, awful.
Have you been back to your high schools since you left?
No.
No, I haven't. No. One of...
This is a story you got to tell now.
Oh, it's not a happy one.
Okay.
You
don't actually have to.
The only one of the people that I went to school with that I knew that went back there got super drunk with some of his friends and started hanging out on the roof of the school.
That's not a story. This isn't a story that ends in a fun ending.
No, it's this was he was late university,
right?
And they were sort of running and jumping between the gaps on the roofs, and he fell and he died.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Awful.
So I don't have any desire to return to that school.
Yeah,
now.
that's fair.
It's just
that's fair. I understand that.
Weird memories.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you've got traumatic memories associated with a place, and most people do with their high schools, because let's be honest, it's a pretty dramatic time.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back there. I don't know whether I'd go to my school reunion. A lot of people don't.
Yeah,
I definitely would though.
Matt and I,
you were closer with you. I think because you went to a special.
Yeah, so my it's actually it is astonishing when I hear other people talk about their high school. I think I graduated with 150 people.
Yeah,
I'm not friends with all of them on Facebook, but I'd easily be friends with 80 or 90.
Wow.
And of those, the other 60 are people that I would say hi to in the street. There's no one I went to high school with that I hate. Maybe some of them hate me. I don't like.
You don't know.
I don't know, but like someone who I went to high school with committed suicide a couple of years ago, and I would say most of us were at the funeral. Like it was just, it was a damn good group of people, and not all the years above us and below us were like that.
Yeah.
But I think really lucked out with.
I think you lucked out, and you did you went to a special nerd school.
I did go to a special nerd school,
and I think that
cared
helped.
about learning. See, I think that's
a
big
little
part of it.
It is a big.
Yeah.
If you don't care about your education, or if you have problems with survival, like if you're living in a low economic socioeconomic area, then like you have other issues to think of, and very different experience. But yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm so glad you had that experience.
Yeah. Like when
we've had some of them on the podcast.
Yeah. When I went to Sydney, went to high school. I went to high school in a similar area, and also briefly the same school as Sarah. And it was an area where, particularly in like my year 10 of high school, there was a large number of people that just did not want to be there and resented the experience of just even being in that place. Yeah. And that makes for a hostile environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was not fun.
I've been back. Yeah. I mean, we had every 2 years we were also in agricultural high school. And I went back we had this thing every 2 years called Country Fair, which was like the school fete, but kind of big and fancy, and people came from around. And so I went back maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
Just to see what it was like. Bumped into a couple of people and met up with a couple of people, and it's amazing how small it was.
Yeah.
Like
that's the thing, isn't it?
It's just. Because it feels huge when you're there all the time.
It's your
and
whole
it's just
world.
It's like it barely.
You're also like physically smaller.
Yeah. It barely feels like a place like.
Yeah. Like you wonder how so many people could spend so much time there.
Especially when you go like on a weekend where a lot of the school is empty.
Yeah.
It's just Yeah.
High school, man.
If any of you are in high school, it's weird, and everything after it is just better.
It's so true. Even if you have
there's
great experience.
There's hard shit. You got like bills, and you have to have a job that you go to all the time. And some people hate those. But like when you get paid, you can buy Lego.
Yeah, I think I didn't have a great time in high school.
Yeah.
But I would so much rather be someone who had a bad time in high school and life got better.
Oh God!
Than someone who had a fantastic time in high school and then peaked and spent the rest of their life pining for high school.
Yeah, if you peak in high school, like, oh God, how sad!
How sad!
Even if those 6 years are the best 6 years of your life, there's another 60 after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, life is a big, crazy, weird thing, and it's not like we haven't been out of high school that long. What's it been like?
I graduated in 2007.
10, 15 years?
So it'll be 10 years next
10
year.
10 years? Yeah.
It'd be a bit more for me.
Yeah.
Because you're an ancient person.
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's still just one phase. You know, it's a crazy thing, and you don't know all the answers. But I think the nice thing to take away from it all is, like, doesn't matter, like, what your experiences are, whether they were good or bad. Like, you can create your own life once you're out of that, and you make your own choices.
Yeah.
And you can actually choose what kind of job, where you're living, and, you know, the people you have around you, whereas you just do not have those choices when you're in high school. And I think the people thing is the big part.
Yeah.
Is, you don't get to choose the dynamics of your friend groups and things like that. But you learn a lot, and I don't think I learned much in classes, but you know, you learn a lot about yourself as a person. So that's always nice, even if you have a really horrible time. But, yeah.
High school's so weird, isn't it? It just really is this bizarre, like.
And part of me wonders if that's avoidable at all, or if it's just an age thing, and the location and activity is kind of immaterial to the
I think you'd have to be like homeschooled, so you're away from all the other, and that's its own separate thing.
And even then, you're still going through that same process.
Yeah.
You know, like both biological and just social process.
Yeah.
That I don't think there's any way for it to not be weird.
No.
Yeah. No. So it gets better, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we didn't officially meet in high school, but if we had not have gone to the same high school the way we did, we probably wouldn't have met.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's good that we met.
good comes out of it, even if years later you didn't realise what was going to come out of it.
And if there's any girls I went to high school with, hey,
This guy.
I
guy.
got I got a slightly popular podcast,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan
and
of this guy.
I buy a lot of Lego. I could buy Lego for you.
You bought Lego for me, actually.
Did I? Oh, I did
You
too for
bought me
Christmas.
Legolas.
Yeah,
Legolas.
yeah. If you
I
take-
love Legolas.
If you pull him in half, he's legless Legolas.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's actually my main man.
Oh, really?
I use him more than anyone because he's a great runner.
They're talking about Lego Dimensions, which is a surprisingly charming game.
It is surprisingly.
Matt
fun.
hates the Lego games, and I think has fallen a little in love with it.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Matt bought me the game for Christmas, and he's like, I'll play with you just today. Oh, not for Christmas, my birthday. And he's like, I'll play with you today because it's your birthday, but I hate this game. But I bought it for you, and now he plays it all the time.
It's true.
So I suspect you might have been buying it for both of us.
I do like. I swear.
No, we had a conversation when Matt was like, I really don't like this game, but can I just ask you a couple of questions about it? And I was like, yeah, this is what you need, this is what you have to get all the stuff.
The reason I don't buy video games is because I worry this can be the case. And on this one, I thought I had a safe bet. I was like, you know what? I've been driven to madness by these games. I can't stand them anymore. This can just be a Sarah thing. And then I got it for you. And then I sat down and played with you for a bit, and I was like, fuck, this is actually kind of fun.
And
But I
then
mean,
the
like,
doctor
what's wrong
comes
with
and
that?
saves you, and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, I'm on board with this thing all of a sudden.
It's amazing. But what's wrong with it? Like, I'm so happy we get to play it together. Cause
Oh,
that
I
would
know,
be
but
boring.
I don't ever want to be that guy that buys something for you for me, you know?
Yeah, but when you live in the same house,
Yeah,
and
that-
you share all the things, of course it's going to happen.
I get it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have that problem when I buy you, not specific things because a lot of that I don't understand. Like,
Yeah, and that's true of me and you as well. Like, I'll buy you a nice necklace that has no meaning to me necessarily, except for the fact that I like it because I bought it for you,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's nice to have some couple activities though.
And I am sad and alone.
No, you're not.
You have us.
You have us.
Which is weird. in the
Great,
context
it's
of
like having two parents,
Yeah.
except I've already got 4 parents.
We are very parental to our friends these days, and that's very
Yes.
strange. Like,
Yeah. We live in a house with 2 of Sarah's friends, and they are like our kids.
we are both quite nurturing types. So you end up. You
Well,
do
can
end
one
up.
of you be a responsible adult and stop me buying Lego? I'm buying so much Lego.
No, but Lego's
How
great.
much Lego? Shall we have a talk about this?
Maybe not on the podcast.
All right, let's talk about it later.
Okay. Anyway, Rocky learned a lesson. Bulk and Skull come in and they were like, Rocky, did you steal the books? And he's like, these were important books, you stole them, breaks the board in half. He's a psychopath, he hasn't learned his lesson at all.
No.
Then in the post-credits teaser, they try to give a ticket to a black man and he's very tall and they're very scared.
That's a weird one.
It's weird.
Because he was in this tiny little car, and it's obviously some kind of like sketch,
Yeah.
but it just was awkward.
It was awkward because, it's them being physically intimidated by a guy who kind of lets it happen.
Yep.
I don't really know who the bad guy is in that situation.
I think it's us.
Yeah.
It's just the public.
It's people. People are the problem.
People who supported this show by watching it
Yeah.
and allowed it to happen.
And make podcasts about it.
Yeah, what nerds and evil nerds. Let's put Marvo the Magician on the Ranger Danger Creature feature.
Yeah.
No, not the Magician, the Meanie.
The Meanie.
He's a Meanie, he's not a magician.
No. Or a wizard.
What did we think of Marvo the Meanie?
Not great.
No. That test tube thing is a good gimmick.
Yeah, but it's not used to its
It
full potential.
would have been much better on a science-themed monster.
Yes. And sort of underwhelming design, very short Zord battle.
Didn't really have a voice.
No.
You guys were making me so excited about this season, but
It's
I'm
been
really
good.
disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't a great one, comparatively, sadly.
We'll have you back later in the season.
Yeah, please.
Okay, low end of the scale.
Yeah.
Worse than the Lizinator. The Lizinator had like a gimmicky voice.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, better than the Wheel of Misfortune. Oh,
The thing is, I like the Wheels of Misfortune, and you don't.
I mean, the thing about the Wheel of Misfortune is, especially now looking back, it is still insane
Yeah.
that was an episode of the show.
It's a unique monster.
Yeah.
So, I liked it, and it's growing on me as time goes on.
Okay, well, look, under Wheel of Misfortune is
Yep.
Skellerina.
Yeah, I think that's at the right spot.
Yeah, like,
Just kind of like nothing monsters.
yeah, Turkey Joe.
It's a terrible name.
Vase Face, which rhymes in American.
Vase.
Yeah, I guess. Needle Nose, who I couldn't tell you what Needle Nose was.
Cool, let's put him above Needle Nose.
Above Needle Nose? Sure. That puts him in at number 91.
Not great.
Not a great showing.
Rather than me.
Do you think we'll ever see Mr. Wilton again?
I don't think so.
I hope not. His eyes were very upsetting.
Well,
I'm sorry. It's nothing personal.
All right.
yeah. No swords for the sword board.
No.
So, this is an interesting one for me. Rocky, Aisha or Adam?
The A-plot, the
Yes.
Rocky stuff,
Yes.
is like a fine idea,
Yes.
but executed about a character we don't like,
Yes.
and not executed particularly brilliantly.
No, and it was weirdly paced.
Yeah.
Like, all of the subplot stuff was front-loaded into the start of the episode.
Yep.
There was almost no Power Ranger stuff.
No.
And then, like, a tiny Zord battle at the end.
Yeah.
Strange decisions here.
But Bulk and Skull bits, A+ Bulk and Skull bits.
Yeah, super funny. And the moon stuff, pretty good as well.
And even some of those, like that scene with Mr. Will whatever
Yeah.
in class,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I think Aisha...
Aisha, it's not an excellent episode.
No, but it's
But-
actually not terrible in
No.
reflection.
I don't actually know what you guys are doing.
Okay, so in Matt's head,
Yeah.
and presumably the heads of several of our listeners,
Yeah.
Rocky is the worst Power Ranger ever.
Okay.
Adam, the Black Ranger,
Yeah.
is the best Power Ranger ever.
Okay.
And Aisha is a total middle of the road, like not excellent,
Right.
not terrible, just
Neutral.
average Power Ranger.
Okay.
So I've tricked Matt into developing a 3-point scale
Right.
by naming the points instead of numbering them.
Right.
So
Good job.
Yeah, I'm very proud. So he's decided it's either a Rocky episode, an Aisha episode, or an Adam episode.
Right. Okay, great. This is interesting. And do you keep track of this one too, or is this just
No, but I really should have a spreadsheet. It's
Right.
astonishing that I don't, to be honest.
have
Yeah,
spreadsheets
you could be
for
getting
everything.
data out of this, Michael. It's a
There's
data mine that
there's
you're not
no need to be
mining.
mean.
Yeah, Matt.
I may have told them earlier that we have an office table tennis spreadsheet. I win approximately 36% of my games.
Approximately.
Well, it's a constantly fluctuating. There's 2 decimal points. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
I really need your help in my life because I don't have any
I
spreadsheets.
really need someone else's help in my life because I have too many spreadsheets.
Well, we could talk.
If you give Sarah some of your spreadsheets, you'll both be fine.
Okay, but she won't know how to use them. I use
Matt
lots of
made me a
formulas.
spreadsheet the other day.
High five, Matt.
He was all like, "You need help."
I, in Google Sheets, several days ago, made a Gantt chart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's adaptive, so that when you change the data in the cells, the Gantt chart changes.
I love how we talked about how we weren't that far out of high school.
Yeah.
This is the most boring thing.
Yeah, we're
the,
adults.
The Gantt chart is the most boring adult of all the charts.
Well, I don't know what a Gantt chart is, and so therefore I am the coolest and the youngest of all
I
of
mean,
you.
She's not wrong.
I'd have agreed with that anyway.
Yeah.
That's
You
definitely
don't need to
true.
involve
Yeah.
Gantt charts.
Oh, okay.
That's true without evidence. So anyway,
It's not a competition. We all love each other.
anyway,
Yes.
end of the podcast.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
The
This has been a weird
end.
episode. I'm
Has
sorry.
been
Has
a
it?
weird one.
Yeah.
This has felt very normal for me.
We did a long It Gets Better
Yeah.
middle stretch. So we will be back next week with an episode called 4th Down and Long.
Yes.
Which is just a little too late for the Super Bowl. It's unfortunate we didn't get that synergy right there.
Yeah, can't win them all.
No.
Something I realized recently, Michael.
Yeah.
We have a website. It's www.rangeangepodcast.com. And if you feel like sending us emails, you can send an email to us at rangeangepodcast@gmail.com. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Oh, okay. What about if you want to send us a Twitter tweet?
Right.
I've recently discovered that @RangerDcast is our Twitter handle.
Oh, that sounds useful.
It's very useful because we can respond to people on Twitter and share messages.
Right, nice. I like that.
Yeah, and look, there's more.
Okay.
There's several places you can find us on the internet that aren't those places.
Such as?
Well, we've got Facebook.
Right.
We've got iTunes.
Right.
We've got Stitcher.
Yep.
We've got YouTube.
Yep.
And for some reason, we've got Google Plus.
Tune in as well.
And TuneIn.
And I think one more that we forget, but I don't know what it is.
It's our shop.
Oh, it's our shop.
RangerDangerPodcast.com/shop.
What can you buy there, Matt?
Things.
And?
Stuff! Yay!
I love how, like, the more sarcastic you get, the higher pitched your voice becomes.
Matt's done that speech 160 times.
That's impressive.
It's a lot.
Do you tweet?
No, so actually we should tell people.
Yeah.
Generally, the Ranger Danger Twitter is me.
Yes.
And I kind of check it like when I go to lunch.
Right.
Is my Twitter time. The Facebook is either Matt or I. If the comment is signed Matt, it's Matt. If it's not, it's me because I forget to do that.
I try and tell Michael to sign his messages.
I try. The email is also usually me. But I haven't replied to emails in a while. I'm sorry, guys. It's just been a busy couple of weeks. And that's basically all the ways people contact us.
Yeah.
You guys are better at managing your, like, online stuff than I am with my own personal stuff. It's amazing.
We're professionals.
Yeah.
Well, Michael's a professional. I tag along.
Yeah, that's basically, story of my
I
life.
wouldn't argue that.
I answer some of the Facebook posts.
Yeah, you do. Alright, so Dino Supercharge will be on the usual day of Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have Tim or Matt yet, but there's some sort of nightmare monster or something.
Ooh, spooky.
I think Tim did that at the end of our last...
Well, we're interchangeable, apparently, so
well,
good.
You made that decision, so don't give me that nonsense. Otherwise, Mighty Morphin will be back next week with a football-themed episode. We should try and get someone who knows something about football.
I know a lot about American football.
Do you?
Yeah, I love
that's
American
good.
football.
Is
Look at that.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that about you.
I love it. It's the only sport, and sometimes tennis, that I enjoy watching. True
Wow.
facts.
Do you know, while we're talking about sport, Tim loves the Olympics.
Yeah, I knew that about him, and I never understood
He
it.
doesn't care about sports for 47 out of 48 months.
Yeah.
But for the 1 month every 4 years that the Olympics are on, we'll just sit and watch whatever is on. Like, oh, they're playing table tennis. Great, I'm watching...
You know, what I do appreciate about the Olympics is that it's this weird moment in time where all of these other sports that would normally be like D-class sports that would never be on television are suddenly elevated to the world
The good
stage.
thing is, because it's like the championships always, because it's the big thing, it's just front-loaded with the good stuff.
Yeah.
There's never like, oh, a crappy game at the Olympics, because everyone is trying to win at the Olympics.
Yeah. And plus it's like fancy diving. Yeah. What other time of year would you watch fancy diving on the television?
That's right.
Like in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Maybe like 3 a.m. on some weird cable channel.
Yeah.
But not on regular times.
No.
And it's like that across the board, like archery.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're a superhero, you don't see people doing archery ever in your life.
No.
When the Olympics rolls around, it's a normal thing.
Yeah. All right, so we're all on board with the Olympics.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week, during the week. Send us an email. You know, all the usual stuff. Tell us about your high school experiences. That'd be interesting.
That'll be interesting. Bye, guys.